went into detail about what I felt were the 10 most effective teaching strategies for teaching ELL students. I will touch base on each strategy and highlight the most important facts for each. The first strategy, knowing your students. It is important for teachers to have an understanding of who their students are, their backgrounds, and educational experiences. The second strategy, social and emotional needs. Schools and teachers can help ELLs by educating themselves on the ELL's home cultures and languages, viewing cultural and linguistic differentiation as educational resources instead of burdens, and communicating with students, homes, and communities to assemble learning prospects. Teachers need to make sure ELL students feel a sense of belonging in their classrooms. They need to feel like they fit, have a place in, and know their surroundings. There are three ways that teachers can help ELL students achieve this. The first way is through an advisory program. The second way is through a teaming group, and the third way is through an exploratory curriculum. The third strategy, increase knowledge and understanding of first and second language acquisition. ELLs have two different types of language: academic language, which is the language necessary to be successful in school, and social language, language spoken in everyday context. It is important for teachers to know the degree of English language knowledge at which ELLs are performing in order to suitably scaffold. The fourth strategy, linking new information to prior and/or background knowledge. Teachers must take into account what information ELL students bring into the classroom and connect lessons to the students' personal, cultural, and world occurrences. The fifth strategy, employ cooperative learning. Lecture style teaching does not work for ELL students. Small group instruction and cooperative learning structures are very beneficial. Using cooperative learning strategies when teaching ELL students is essential for comprehension, academic success, memorization, enjoyment, and satisfaction. The sixth strategy, determining key concepts for units and defining language and content objectives. Teachers should always have the main objectives for the unit of study and student welcoming language posted in a visible area of the classroom. Teachers should also start off each lesson by writing and explaining the content standards. Teachers should establish specific language objectives for each ELL student, such as learning new vocabulary, finding nouns in a lesson, or applying a certain grammar rule. It is important for teachers to incorporate increased levels of teacher-student and student-student interaction into their units and lessons of study. So make sure that as a teacher you have time to work individually with these ELL students, and make sure they have enough time to work in group settings as well. The seventh strategy, make lessons visual, which is pretty self-explanatory. When lessons are visual, it helps ELLs make a stronger connection to what is being taught. Visual illustrations make retelling and remembering easy. It is very important that teachers provide ELLs with visual directions to their classwork and homework. Don't send them home with written directions only, because you never know if they understand it or not. The eighth strategy, modifying vocabulary instruction. Effective vocabulary curriculum increases students' word wisdom by approximately 300 words per year. That's a lot for an ELL student. It is crucial for teachers to relate new vocabulary words and to the ELL's prior background knowledge and employ visuals to emphasize the meaning. The ninth strategy, provide comprehensible feedback. Comprehensible feedback is when ELLs obtain language by hearing and understanding messages that are somewhat above their current English language level. So they understand more than what they're speaking, in other words. It is crucial that teachers provide comprehensible feedback to new ELL students who are in a mainstream classroom and spend the majority of their time in that setting. Teachers should also paraphrase instead of repeat when learning a new language. Students need time to understand what they have already heard, and when teachers change the way they said things, they may lose everything they've already learned. And the last strategy, modifying testing and homework. Teachers should allow ELL students to take alternate types of assessments such as oral, drawings, physical response, and manipulatives, as well as specific adaptations to each assessment. Some ELL students just are having trouble getting it written wise, or the same way that we as U.S. students take our tests. So it's definitely a good idea to modify each assessment and let them take their test as best they understand, whether it's drawing, whether it's telling you, etc. So language is the most fundamental device of learning, which we shouldn't take for granted, and therefore we need effective teachers who will be a little more tolerant, strive a little harder, wait a little longer, and care a little deeper for our ELL students.